Okay friends, to get started we need to come to our passenger side front of our hood compartment and relieve our negative battery terminal. Make sure you set that aside so it's making no contact with the battery. Now let's move over to our air inlet tube. Go ahead and grab onto this tab right here and remove the wiring. Remove the next one, come right over here where it's mounted in. Perfect. Now we're going to come right here to this clamp and loosen it up. Make your way up to this area. Remove this wing nut. Go ahead and grab onto this, give it a nice wiggle. Grab onto this vacuum line, pull that off. Remove this and set it aside. And remove the wiring for those. As you can tell, the bolts are fairly easy to get to, but for this instructional video, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this off so we have a better view. Now the next thing I'm going to do is remove the nuts for this bracket right here. Grab the bracket, slide it off of here. Now let's remove the 3 bolts that hold this bracket. You've got one here, a nut down there, and then one over there. Now we're going to come underneath this clip right here and release it. Grab the bracket. Perfect. Now the next thing I would want to do is remove these 2 lines right here, but as you can tell on our particular model, somebody went ahead and fabricated something so the line can't come off of this. These are both the same size. Now we can grab onto our throttle. Wow, look at the back side of this thing. This needs to be taken care of. So now we have a nice clear view of the IAC valve. You're going to have 2 mounting bolts on it. Let's go ahead and remove both bolts and then remove the IAC valve from the throttle body. Grab the valve, give it a nice shake, and break it free from the throttle body. There it is, friends. Something that I'd like to mention real quick about your IAC valve. Typically these get built up with carbon, and that's going to be the reason why you'd have to replace it. If you happen to find that you have a lot of carbon buildup on it, like this one has, you're also going to want to take a look inside the port of your throttle body. If you also find carbon in there, go ahead and remove your throttle body from the intake and take a look at the back. If your throttle body looks like this, and inside here, you're definitely going to want to clean that out. Okay, now it's going to be time to install our brand new idle air control valve. Just take a quick peek at the gasket right along here and ensure that it's sitting in where it needs to be. If it looks like it's falling out, just go ahead and roll it into the channel until it looks good. Now we're just going to essentially put this up and we're going to line up our mounting holes with the mounting holes on the throttle body. We'll slide this in. Should want to slide in. If it doesn't, you can use a little bit of motor oil around the seal right here. Now we're going to start in both of our bolts. Once they're both started in, we'll go ahead and snug them up. Just double check them with my ratchet here, just to ensure they're nice and tight. It's bottomed out, teeny bit more. Same for the other. Bottomed out, teeny bit more. Perfect. Anytime you remove your throttle body, it's a good idea to replace the gasket or at least remove it and inspect it. Now I'm just going to set this down right over it. Let's start in all 3 of our studs. Now I'm just going to snug this up. And now we'll torque them to 80 inch-pounds. Now let's connect them in. The one with the 4 prongs on it is going to go to your IAC valve. And then the other one's going to come to your throttle position sensor. Give them a nice tug. Perfect. Now let's start putting these front brackets on. You want to make sure you slide them over both of the studs that are sticking up right there. And then we'll start in our stud here. Once we have the stud started, we'll continue on by starting on both of our nuts. Now let's snug them up. Time for the driver's side bracket. Slide that on there. Start on both of our nuts and then we'll snug them up. Let's put our wires into the little holders. One right there. We've got one on this side. Okay, make sure those are nice and secure. Now it's time to get the air inlet on there. Pay attention to this lower area right here. You have a little hooky-doo. It needs to slide underneath the throttle body. Okay. Put on your wing nut. Connect this back in. Grab our wiring, slide it along where it goes. Let's connect these in. air temp sensor, mass airflow sensor. Give them both a nice tug. Now we're going to connect this in. You want to pay attention to the fact that this has an outer ring and an inner ring. The inner ring needs to, of course, go on the inside aspect of this, and then the outer ring goes along the outside. Slide it in so it bottoms out and it fits inside the groove, and tighten up your clamp. Okay friends, now all you have left to do is go ahead and start up the truck. Make sure you don't have a misfire.